coffee shop looking through the want ads when I read, Macy's Herald Square has big job opportunities for outgoing, fun-loving people looking for more than just a holiday job. Working in Macy's Centerland means being at the center of excitement. I circled the ad and I laughed to myself. The man sitting next to me turned on his stool, checking to see if I was a lunatic. I laughed again quietly until the check arrived and I remembered that I don't have a job. It's funny how you can forget a thing like that.
Dear friends and family, some of you are probably taken aback by this, our annual holiday newsletter. You have read of our recent tragedy in the news and were no doubt thinking that what with the recent legal woes and hassles, the Dunbar family might just stick their heads in the sand and avoid the upcoming holiday season altogether. You're saying, well, there's no way the Dunbars can afford the holiday season traditions and carry on the traditions of the holiday season? Oh my goodness! No family is that strong. Well, think again. The stockings are hung, the tree is standing tall, and we are eagerly awaiting the arrival of a certain portly gentleman who goes by the name St. Nick.
So I set up for an interview as an elf. I suppose it could be worse. I often see people standing on the street corner dressed as objects and handing out leaflets. I tend to avoid leaflets, but it breaks my heart to see a grown man dressed as a taco. So, if there is a leaflet involved, I tend not only to accept it, but to accept it graciously, saying things like, "Thank you so much," but walking away saying things like, "You pathetic son of a wise man."
Our trusty computer is back to work after typing up our wish list to crank up a letter to you, wishing you the merriest of holiday seasons from the entire Dunbar clan. Clifford, Jocelyn, Kevin, Jackie, Kyle, and Keeson. Now, some of you are probably reading this and scratching your heads at the name Keeson. That certainly doesn't fit with all those good ordinary names. Did those crazy Dunbars get themselves a cat? No. Yes. Well, at the ripe age of 22, Keeson Dunbar is the newest addition to our family. Surprise? Join the club.
So, after a series of interviews, several tax forms, standing in line with midgets, and theater students from Purpose that end every sentence. Theater students from Purpose that end every sentence like a question. I got the job. We spent one morning in elf training. Most of our trainers are former elves who have worked their way up the candy cane ladder, but retain vivid memories of their days in uniform. And we were led through cheers and chances. We were part of some great big red-nosed reindeer cult group. Give me an S!
S!
How about an A?
A!
Let's get an N!
N!
And a T!
T!
And one more A!
A!
That spells! Does anyone else notice that Santa's an anagram for Satan?
It is.
I always find that funny because
It appears that Clifford has been to yours truly and father to our three wonderful, natural children, accidentally planted the seeds for Keeson 22 years ago during a business trip in where else? Las Vegas!
we spent one morning in elf dress rehearsal. Most of our trainers made us call each other by only our elf names. And everyone got really great elf names like Candy, Frosty, Mistletoe, Pinecone, and Jingles. My name is Crumpet. On one of our first days of work, we were told that we would be hosting Operation Special Children, at which poor children would come into the store and receive free gifts from Macy's. This day was also set aside for children who were terribly sick and deformed. On that day, it was an elf's job to meet up with the child at the magic tree and then run back to inform Santa what was to come. The next one's missing a nose. Crystal has third-degree burns covering 90% of her body. It was on these days that Santa had to be very careful not to ask, "What do you want for Christmas?"
I will never forget the day this little blessing came into our lives. Halloween 2008. I recall mistaking her for a trick-or-treater. She wore, I remember, a skirt the size of a beer cozy, a short furry jacket, and enough rouge, lipstick, and eye powder on her face to paint our house inside and out. Well, I thought she was a trick-or-treater, so I handed her a fistful of chocolate nougats, expecting, like the other little ones, she'd quickly move on. But Kisan was no trick-or-treater. She was no treat for that matter.
On these days, we had interpreters come in and teach us how to sign up. Things like, "Merry Christmas. I love you. Do you want a surprise?"
Oh, God.
My sister knew some sign language, and she taught me how to say, "Santa has a tumor in his head the size of an olive. Maybe it will go away tomorrow, but I don't think so."
After 6 weeks of living with us, I thought that Kisan was just getting to know the area gentlemen and having them over for dinner. Not only were they getting my home-cooked meals, thank you very much, they were getting a little entertainment.
No.
I was getting sick of this job and fast. I had to get back to my hometown to have Christmas with my family in Fargo. I stayed until the last possible moment. It was with reservation that I reported to the manager that I had to leave. And all of a sudden, I loved this woman. Because she'd raised her voice a few times as before, but this time, Branko was directed at the good old Crumpet the Elf.
Well, that type of thing was not going to happen in my house. I got into a huge fight with Clifford, leading to our recent divorce. Merry Christmas! After papers were filed, I took out my anger on Clifford, using a frozen pizza to beat him senseless. That landed him in the hospital, and me in this holding cell.
So I tapped her on the shoulder. I'm not noticing that she was in a heated debate with a customer with whom she was using words from a very drunkard Christmas carol. The customer fled, and so did I.
Now, a hearing has been set for December 27th, and knowing how disappointed you, our friends, will be at having missed out, I have included the time and address at the bottom of the letter. The hearing is a time during which you might convey belated Christmas spirit through deed and action, and given the chance to defend your character, I would not hesitate, and I know you must feel the exact same way toward me. Although this Dunbar Christmas will be seasoned with change and sadness, we continue to proceed, as best we can, toward that day of days, December 27th, 1:45 p.m., the White Rock County Courthouse, room 420.